Check us out. We're like going everywhere, baby. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Drop a 1 in the chat if you're feeling outstanding. And drop a 2 in the chat if you want to be outstanding. Check us out. Oh, look at that. I'm in stereo. There we go. Oh, wait a second. We can do this. We're still going live there, right? Yes. All right. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Great to have you here. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Yeah, it's Thursday, right? It's Taco Tuesday's cousin, Thursday Tacos. So I hope everybody's doing well. We are going to, good morning, Derek. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So listen, good morning, Instagram. How are you this morning? Good morning, Facebook. Good to see you. Got a couple of people there already. Early birds catching the worm. And so we're getting into session 9 of the master course. We're going through about it as fast as I normally read it. So let's do this here. All right. So yesterday we finished up here. You're going to like this chat. Oh, there's such good stuff in here. So we finished up with this. We ended there. So make your plan flexible enough to permit changes at any time you are inspired to do so. Where do you get inspiration? Where do you get your enthusiasm, your entheos, your God within, right? Can you be flexible enough to allow the universe, the infinite intelligence, to bring you a plan that's better than the one you had? How many of you, if you were to start right now, how many of you would think, you know what? There's probably a better plan than the one I got. So the challenge is sometimes we think we need to know the how. Robbins talks about it and says that's the tyranny of how. It gets us stuck. It gets us confused. How am I supposed to do that? Who do you become when you do that? Right? That's that. Hey, good morning, Instagram. Good to have you here. There's Brad Chambers. We had an amazing conversation yesterday. So here we go. New part. Here we go. Have you ever had a hunch that you couldn't describe or explain away? Drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever had a hunch, or what do you call it? A hunch, or that you couldn't describe or explain away. You know what that hunch is? It's your subconscious mind trying to get an idea over to you, right? Trying to get an idea over. It was kind of like a car putting on their turn signal. Why do they got their turn signal on? Because they want to get over. Why do I got a hunch? Because it wants it to get over. Oftentimes you are too indifferent even to let the subconscious mind talk to you for a few moments. Wait a minute, you mean that hasn't changed in the course of 100 years? That hasn't changed in the course of 1,000 years, in 1,000 millennia. It's part of our makeup. It's part of the way our brain works. Oftentimes, you are too indifferent even to let the subconscious mind talk to you for a few moments. I've heard people say, let me do this. Speaker. I've heard people say, I had this darn fool idea today. Listen, drop a 2 in the chat if you've ever said, I had a darn fool idea today. I don't think I'll see any 2s. Although there might be a couple of folk I had a darn fool idea today, but that darn fool idea might have been a multi-million dollar, been $1 million deal if you had listened to it and had done something about it. How many of you have ever had this idea that later on, a decade later, you go, you know, I thought about that about a year ago. I have a great respect for these hunches because they are undoubtedly something outside of yourself trying to communicate with you. I have a great respect for the hunches that come to me, and they come to me constantly. See, that's just like a muscle. When you let a friend in, when you let somebody who you know, love, and care for, when you see them and you let them in, more of them come in. It's literally a muscle, listening to your hunches. I have great respect for these hunches that come to me, and they come to me constantly, and I find that they're all related to something that my mind has been dwelling upon, something that I want to do, something that I am engaged in. Write out a clear, definite outline of the plan or plans and state the maximum time which you intend to attain them. That timing is very important. Don't write out your definite major aim that I intend to become the best salesman in the world, or I intend to become the best employee in my organization, or I intend to make a lot of money. That's not definite. I spent about an hour yesterday rewriting some of my definite plans, and I got to tell you, I'm not done yet. I'm on version because I'll go to version 1. I'll go version 1 and then version 1.0 to 10, and then I'll upgrade to version 2.0, and I'm on version 3.3. And it's interesting how as you start writing it, you start seeing these new things. These little hunches come in, and these hunches come in, and they give you some new ideas. So that's not definite. Whatever it is that you consider to be your major objective in life, write it out clearly and time it. I intend to attain X within X number of years. Wow, I guess he wasn't in network marketing where you could make $1 million like in 30 days. He's not selling that crap, is he? I intend to attain X within a number of years, and then go ahead and describe what it is. Right? What's the big target? And then describe what it is. Do you have any idea of what it is that do you have any idea of what it is that you would have to give in order for what you want in your life? See, this is the part most people don't understand. They've never been taught this. It doesn't sync with them. They're not attuned to it. What are you going to give for what you're going to get? You're asking the universe to deliver something that it can do easily and effortlessly. It's kind of like whether you buy a car or buy a cup of coffee. You pay for it. And when you pay for it, it easily comes to you. What are you going to pay to acquire your current desire, your current purpose? Do you have any idea of what you have to give in return for anything do I have any idea of what I want to give in return for anything I want in life? Incidentally, I have everything in life that I want, and I have an abundance. I got something yesterday I didn't want, but I didn't keep it. I got a little cold in my head, but the Prince of Sound Health got busy and did something about it. I'll say more about the Prince of Sound Health later. When you become proficient teachers of this philosophy, you're going to enrich the minds of those who come under your influence. Did you teach this philosophy yesterday? Did you teach the ideas of what you're learning? Because the only way you're going to learn this information is by teaching it. It doesn't matter if it's in a post. It doesn't matter if you journal it. Tony Robbins talks about take notes as if you were going to teach. Don't take notes to take notes. I've acquired that skill. Take notes as if you were going to teach them. Because nobody can read your notes and learn what you understood, what you heard. How do you convert that? When you become proficient teachers of this philosophy, you're going to enrich the minds of those that come under your influence. That's what you have to give. What better thing could you give for anything in the world that you want? To give people a chance to find their own dreams, to have their own access to success. I wouldn't have any compunction, I like that word, I wouldn't have any compunction whatsoever about asking for anything I wanted, because I think the service I am rendering entitles me to anything I want. And I want to feel, and I want you to feel that way too. So I have written in my little notes here, does your service entitle you to anything you want? Ooh, that's a tough one. Does your state of mind, does your service to humanity, does your service to those around you, does it entitle you to anything you want? Or are you sitting hoping and wishing and wondering about something? Are you complaining about somebody else having something and you not having it? What does your service, listen, what you got is based upon your service. Ah! Well, that's not fair, Sean. Okay. Doesn't have to be material things. If you have peace, it's because of your service. If you have retirement, it's because of your service. If you look around at what you have, if you have kids, it's because of your service. Well, I can't have kids. There's ways to have children. I've heard of people who couldn't have children all of a sudden have a child. It's like, wait, what? Miracle? Where? What? How? Your service is going to allow you, that's your payment. What you are giving, what you are teaching, what you are doing. When the next time you say, listen carefully, the next time you say you should be doing something, that ain't service. That's injected values. You just went backwards. You made people feel bad. You made people like, maybe it was, I wish you were here. That would be different. But you should be here, that's injected values. That's not compensating somebody for their lack of not being there. That's just making them feel bad. That's the FOMO. Now, I understand there you can present something with a sense of urgency. You got to ask, though, with what you got right now, that's your service. And congratulations for those that are going, okay, I can do more of that. And others that are going, well, this is BS. You're right. It's belief system. Maybe it's time to up your service. Well, what more could I do? Start. Ask the universe. What service do I need to deliver to allow more to flow into my life? And then answer the dang question. I was on a call yesterday with somebody who I'd never done a one-on-one with, and all of a sudden we had some huge awakenings. It was pretty cool. And how is that possible? How am I able to have something that I don't know how many years of care and observation by trained professionals. I'm not a trained professional. I'm a what would you call it? I'm a backwoods farm doctor. But in about 40 minutes, we had some relief that hadn't been there for years. Listen, I'm good at what I do. It doesn't take more than an hour to get you free. Now, it's going to take you some work to, once you get free, to be able to continue the process. But an hour, that's all it takes. Bring me your biggest, bring me your baddest. Listen, buddy of mine, Joseph McClendon, says, I'm a badass. I'm a badass. You want to break something? Listen, bring me your worst. And we'll get it squared away if you want to. See, I'll be able to tell if you want to or not. And if you don't want to, then I'll go along with you. I'll go along with you. I'll let you feel like you're doing something. I'll also tell you don't want to get rid of it. All right, let's go on. But don't go out like many people wishing you could make $1 million in the next year without doing the work and not have to work too hard for it. Don't go out like many people wishing you could make $1 million in the next year and not have to work too hard for it. Now he's talking network marketing. Hey, good morning, Facebook. Good to have you. I'm sorry, YouTube. Good to see you here. Amir, great to have you here. Thank you for joining us this morning. But don't go out like many people. Okay, don't do that. Be willing to give and then start giving first, not second. Start giving first. Well, Sean, I have been giving. I'd change what you're giving. If you're not getting the results you want, you got to change what you're giving. Incidentally, before you complete this course, right, the magic course, the master course, it'll be mighty fine if you'll get 2 or 3 of your friends together and start teaching these lessons. I've been teaching that for 20 years in our profession of network marketing. Get those friends around you and do presentations to each other. Very few people do it. I did it. It's why I've been able to excel, probably, maybe. There's a chance that because I've practiced more in private, I've been rewarded more in public. See, that's the thing. What you practice in private, you'll be rewarded for in public. Take this lesson tonight. I did. Now, this was Napoleon Hill speaking live. It's been recorded, and it's also been put down into book form. So that's why he says, take this lesson tonight. I dare say that every one of you could make a pretty good stab at explaining to somebody, especially if you have my notes to look at while you're explaining. Start by trying that. You'll be surprised what it'll do. Also to them. You can do a little proselytizing. You can do a little practicing, and you'll find that you'll grow and develop in doing it. Nature has a system of timing everything. If you're a farmer and you want to plant some wheat in the field, you go out, you prepare the ground, you sow the wheat at the right season of the year, and then you go back. Then you go back the very next day with the harvester and start harvesting? No, you wait for nature to do her part. Whether you call it intelligence, infinite intelligence, or God, or whatever you want, there is an intelligence that does its part if you do your first part. And that's right there's a $1 million idea. The infinite intelligence has done its part in your life because of the first part that you did in your life. Man, this is tough. It's tough. This is why I digest books. You got to look at what the author was intending. What was he wanting to say? What was the idea? What was the intention behind it? What was the intent behind it? What was the desire behind it? He just said, in all plain English, the infinite intelligence will do its part if you do your part. Now, I get it. I've planted corn. I grew up on a farm in Ohio. We had 200 acres. We planted probably 80 acres worth of it. We farmed probably about 600 acres, neighbors' fields and stuff for hay and different things. Yeah, I know you could plant a kernel of corn and it not grow because it's a bad kernel. But I also know that if you plant it about 90 to 120 days, you're going to get corn. That's the season. What did you plant today is 60, 90, 100 days away from now. How big is the thing you're planting, right? If you planted bamboo, you'd have to water it for the next 4 years. And then it could grow a foot, 2 foot, a meter a day. But that's 5 years later. Are you willing to invest? How big do you want it? Intelligence is not going to direct you to or attract you to the object of your major purpose unless you know what it is and unless you properly time it. I'd be quite ridiculous if I started out with only a mediocre talent and said that I'm going to make $1 million in the next 30 days. In other words, make your major purpose within reason of what you know you are able to desire. He doesn't say think small. He says think a little bit beyond reasonable. In the next 30 days, what do you want? The next 30 days, what have you already done? What's a goal you've already done that's been a big goal that you've accomplished in 30 days? If you already know how to do it, work it backwards. I want to do $20,000 a month. Great, work it backwards. That's $20,000 a month is less than $1,000 a day. $20 a month is less than $1,000 a day. If somebody you knew and loved, you would have to keep them alive. Would you go into $1,000 a day? Somebody's counting on you today. Maybe today's the day you start. I don't know. Maybe today's the day you start. It could be. Keep your purpose to yourself. See, there's a lot of controversy on this. And I say controversy. Do I tell? Do I not tell? Who do I tell? Let's see what the Master Course has to say. Next, it said this is keep your purpose to yourself. Next, keep your major purpose strictly to yourself. Expect insofar as you will receive further instructions on the subject in the lesson on the mastermind. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah. So you're only going to be telling your mastermind. And if you don't have a mastermind, the people you tell on social media are not your mastermind. They're hoping you fail. Why do I suggest that you keep your major purpose to yourself? Do you know what your relatives will do to you or your relatives do you know what your relatives will do to you or your relatives if you stick your head up? Do you know what your relatives will do to you or your relatives? It's the same thing. If you stick your head up 1 inch above what you've been doing and announce it, what would your relatives do if you stuck your head up 1 inch above what you're currently doing and announced that you're going to have all of this? They'll laugh you out of the house. Mine did. Napoleon Hill's did. Mine did as well. For years, out of all of the people that I knew, there were only two that stood by me and gave me courage. My stepmother and Andrew Carnegie. Talk about a dynamic duo. I couldn't have survived without the faith of these two people. I couldn't have made it. You've got to have somebody believing in you. You can't go along without one. You also got to deserve to have somebody believing in you. Are you working at a level that you deserve people believing in you? Follow me? Are you working at a level? Are you operating at a level? Are you doing enough? Do you have your burning passion, your major purpose, your definiteness of purpose? Is it so clear that people believe in you? In any case, you don't disclose your major purpose to other people because there are a lot of people in this world who like to stand on the sidelines and kick their toes out when you go by. Isn't this great? Don't you just love these visuals? Stick their toes out when you go by, especially if you've got a high head and you look like you're going to accomplish more in life than they are. Wait a minute, is he saying that there's people who wouldn't want you to succeed? I thought that was only in 2021, in 2020. I thought it was us against them. You mean that worked way back when? That was going on back in the 1900s? For no good reason at all, as you're going along, they stick their toes out just to see you fall. Two ways to have the tallest building in town, right? Make yours bigger or tear everybody else's down. They will throw a monkey wrench in your machinery, and if they don't have a monkey wrench, they'll just put sand in your gearbox. But they will slow you down. Why? Because of the envy of mankind. The only way to speak about your definite major purposes is action. Get out of their eyes. Get out of their ears and get into their eyes. Get out of their ears. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You should see me. You should join me. You should do this. Get out of their ears and get into their eyes. Move your ass. Get going. The only way to speak about your definite major purpose is action. After the fact and not before the fact. After you've achieved it, let it speak for itself. The only way anybody can afford to boast or brag about himself is not by words, but by deeds. If the deeds are engaged, you don't need any words. They speak for themselves. Let's get going. Let's start moving. Making a post on Facebook. Really, it's a start. It's a start. It's a fuel. It used to be that every now and then somebody would criticize me, and I guess they still do for that matter, but I don't even hear them anymore, let alone answer. Why? Because what I'm doing speaks so loudly that what people say I'm doing makes no difference whatsoever. Listen to that. What I'm doing speaks so loudly that what people say I'm doing really doesn't matter. Let your work, let your deeds speak for themselves. Make your plans flexible. Don't become determined that the plan you've worked out is perfect just because you worked it out. You will make a mistake if you do that. Leave your plan flexible. Give it a good trial, and if it's not working properly, change it. All right, so we've got all of these things going on. So here's the thing. We're going to end that there right now, so I'm going to put a little sticker there. Session 10, starting over here. What do you got to get in action on right now? What doubt do you have to get over? What fear do you have to get over? Because there's somebody that you know that should be believing in you and they're not. Who's not giving you your fair due? And why do you think they should? You got to get into action. You got to go do the things you need to go do today. You got to go get yourself in motivation, in action. Here it is, the 26th of August, 2021. Got 4 months left. Do you know what you could do in 4 months? Do you know what's capable in 4 months? You might be so close. You could be that little seed right there, and it's about to break through. It's about to break through. Don't give up. Don't give up. It's got to break through. And then once it breaks through, right, it has its solar panel leaves, right? It usually puts out these two big leaves. Those aren't the leaves of the plant yet. That's the juice to get it going. Maybe you're in that phase. Maybe you've broken through and you've got these, I call them the solar panel leaves. I'm sure there's some botanical name for them. But they're the first leaves to give the plant juice, to give the plant its stuff. And it's like, well, that doesn't look like a strawberry plant, because it's not. That's its energy force. Those are its solar panels to give it a boost, to absorb as much sun as it can until it gets more leaves. How many leaves are on your plant of success? How many leaves are on your desire right now? Where's it getting its sun from? Right? We got dogs. We have 3 dogs. Well, Seamus, the new puppy, when we had planted the garden, he was still a puppy at the time, had gone out and he actually peed on a tomato plant. What do you think happened to the tomato plant? It got liquid. It got watered. The plant died. Who's pissing on your dreams? And you're thinking, boy, it's raining. This is awesome. Today's your day. Today's the day you decide to step into your journey. Today's the day you decide to step in on yours. You can't see it from here, but back over there, let's see if I rotate this a little bit. Back over there is the hero's journey on that chart. And it talks about the fear that you come in contact with. You talk about these different things. And in the hero's journey, you're moving from the ordinary to the extraordinary. Is today the day you make the step across that threshold? Is today the day you make the step across that threshold and you step into the extraordinary world? The challenge with the extraordinary world is sometimes in the beginning, it's scary. Why is it scary? Because it's extraordinary. Because the things that you want happen at light speed, the people you meet that used to be, they were heroes of yours, they were influential, you get to meet them. You get to walk in that world. It's an amazing place to be. And here's the other thing sometimes. Be careful of the heroes that you're giving heroism to. Sometimes when you meet them, you might be depressed. Anybody ever meet their hero and become a little frustrated? Drop an F in the chat if you've ever met a hero of yours and you're like, I don't know what I was heroing. Make sure your heroes are sound and solid, and make sure they're the individuals that you would feel comfortable and confident about. What are they doing behind the screen? What are they doing off stage? That's where you're going to get your life lessons. So, that being said, we're here at the top of the hour. Join us tomorrow for episode 918. Can you believe it? 918 times I've turned on this mic. It's good to see everybody. Thank you, everybody. If you'd like to learn how to join us in the VIP chat, which is where we're going to right now, you can go to personalundevelopment.com, and you can get access to this. Now, right now, I've got it at $9 a month, but that's going to go up to $49 a month in the beginning of the month. Why? Because it's that good. I thought more people would share it out at $9, but evidently I got to charge more so I can have more, so more people show up. Funny how it works that way. It's $9, it can't be worth anything. Well, we're going to change that because I think it's worth more. So that being said, I love you bunches. I appreciate you. Instagram, thank you so much for being amazing. And I'll see y'all where? At the next event. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now. We'll end that there. And Facebook, I love you guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for all you do. You can invite people to this group. Be a hero in their life. Send them over here. Let them listen to a goofy guy, and we'll give them some love and joy. Appreciate you being here. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now. All right, and one more. YouTube, thank you so much for being here. Good to have you here, and we will see you tomorrow. And if you go scrolling through, there's probably another couple hundred hours of events like this, topics like this. So we'll see you all there.